Hello, everybody. Welcome to the latest edition of Varsity Aces Live. My name is Darren Cooper, local sports columnist for The Record and NorthJersey.com. And we have a very special show tonight. As in a little while, we will premiere for the first time our North Jersey Legends Season 1, Episode 5 on the great Pat Sullivan of Pagoda. We've got some rare footage. The guys have done a great job putting that together. We talked to Jay Mahoney. So please stay tuned for that. But before we get to Mr. Sullivan, we want to talk about the latest, greatest craze to sweep across northern New Jersey. That's right. I am talking about girls flag football, sponsored by the New York Jets. We have an 8-team league here in northern New Jersey, 3 in our neighborhood, Ramapo, Indian Hills, and Passaic Tech. And joining me tonight are a couple of members of the Indian Hills, the undefeated, that is, Indian Hills Braves flag football team, Miss Leah Turner, Carly Spinella, and Coach Meghan Weiss. Girls, thank you all so much for joining us. You are the very first flag football players ever on Varsity Aces Live. How are we doing tonight?
I'm doing fantastic.
Good. So I was just waiting for everybody to turn their mute buttons off, right? You got to turn their mute buttons off. So, Coach Weiss, you're going to go backstage for a few minutes. I'm going to talk to the girls and see what they've gotten out of their flag football experience. Girls, I'm so happy to get the chance to talk to you. Congratulations on being a part of this new craze. And Leah, I will start with you and say what got you to go out for flag football.
So I've been around football like my whole life. My dad played in high school and in college, and my brother played for like growing up, and my dad coached him. And I always told him, like, if I ever got a chance to play the game, I totally would. And this flag football program gave me the chance to do that.
What position do you play?
I'm quarterback.
What has been the biggest thing you think you've kind of learned? Like, wow, I didn't know football was like that, but I have to do this now.
I give the football players so much credit. Like, it is scary having these girls like running at you. I give them a lot of credit. It is a lot of work.
I had the chance to cover the first game in North Jersey when Ramapo played Passaic Tech. And Leah, I thought the exact same thing. I was like, not that there's hitting, but there is some contact for sure.
There's definitely contact for sure, yeah.
There is. And especially if you're the quarterback, that nose guard alignment is not that far away from you when you get the snap.
So, no, not at all.
You have to think quickly. So, Carly, I'm curious to know, what was your drive or motivation to go out for the flag football team?
Growing up, I was always the person to play that sport or do this or play with the boys. I was always keeping up with the boys because I really love sports. And to hear that there wasn't a flag football team in Indian Hills, it was like kind of devastating to me because I love like sports and physicality and stuff like that. And to finally hear my junior year that there's going to be a football team just for us girls, I had to join it. And to know 2 of my favorite coaches at Indian Hills were were the coaches of it, I immediately jumped on it. It was just fantastic to hear it.
Right. Carly, are you wearing your jersey right now? Are you wearing
your
jersey? Number 13. Where did number 13 come from?
I originally wanted number 11 because that's my other sports numbers, but my good senior, Paige Desiderio, love her. She's great. Took my number, so I took 13.
No hard feelings. No,
I love her to death.
Carly, what other sports do you play?
I play track, I play soccer, and I also play basketball.
Are you running track now?
Yes.
Okay, so what's that like to try to balance the flag football and running track?
To balance it, well, since they're both at the same school,
Same school.
There's not many conflicting, because like they're like, oh, there's a track meet here, we'll schedule this here. Oh, there's a football game here, we'll schedule that here. So practices sometimes get hard, but since we practice at 5 a.m, it's a tiring day, but it's really great because all the coaches communicate and plan ahead of time and make sure nothing conflicts.
Okay, hold on. Oh yeah, y'all practice at 5 o'clock in the morning?
It's 5:45, not 5, but
I get
it's
up
still
at 5.
pretty early. It's still pretty early.
Is there daylight? Are y'all outside?
Yeah.
Yeah, on our football field.
Is there anybody else out there?
Our track coach.
Sometimes there's a few track runners.
Wow. Did once coach kind of said, hey, we're going to have to practice real early in the morning, did that throw some girls off? Did that run some girls off?
No,
I don't think
everyone stayed.
anybody. Yeah, everyone stayed, but it was definitely a little questionable at first.
Now it's fine. Tomorrow's gonna be great. Tomorrow's practice, fantastic. I love it.
All right, Leah, what about you? Do you play other sports? Are you playing anything else? Are you running track right now at Hills?
I am not, but I do play, or I did play basketball at Indian Hills with Carly.
And y'all are unbeaten, 3-0, right? Who have you beaten, Leah? Who have y'all beaten?
We played Irvington, and then we played PCTI, and who else did we play?
Dickinson.
Dickinson, that's right.
All right, who was the toughest team so far?
Probably Irvington.
Definitely.
Our first game, so like the rules weren't very like as strict, I guess you could say, and there was definitely a lot of contact in that game. A lot of contact.
You know what I took away from watching, and y'all both sound football knowledgeable. Carly, if I say a 2-minute drill, you probably know what I mean. You know, kind of hurry up pace.
Yeah.
Leah, watching the flag football game, it's like a constant 2-minute drill. You're in a hurry. The clock is running. It's a 25-minute clock, and it's always running. And you want the ball, and you want to score, and you got to call plays and get up to the line in a hurry. So, talk me through, Leah. The play. Who signals in the plays? Is Coach Weiss? We're going to get to Coach Weiss in a minute. Does Coach Weiss signal in the plays? How many plays do y'all have?
We definitely have a bunch, and a shout out again to Paige Desiderio because she runs to Coach Weiss and back to the huddle and tells us the play to run. So shout out Paige. But yeah, Coach Weiss will just tell us what to run, and then Paige will come tell us in the huddle, and then we'll just try our best.
All right, you are watching Varsity Aces Live. I'm talking to two of the undefeated Indian Hills girls flag football players, Leah Turner and Carly Spinella. I'm Darren Cooper. Stay tuned in a little bit. We're going to have episode 5, season 1 of our Pat Sullivan North Jersey Legends piece. Carly, what was it like to be a wide? How good is your route tree, Carly?
I like to say I'm pretty good, but I have to say all of Indian Hills works their hardest, gets to their routes their fastest. We sprint through everything. We want the ball more than anything. We want to win, and I feel like that puts us above everyone else. If we're going to get there, we got to get there, and if we want the ball, we're going to get it. So we sprint through everything, and I want it, my team wants it, and Leah wants us to get it too, and so does Coach Weiss.
All right, now hold on, Leah. It sounds like we got wide receivers barking for the ball in the huddle. Is that true?
I mean, we just want to win, you know. So everyone's aggressive and ready to go, and we just all hope for the best.
Leah, what was the feeling like when y'all won the first game? When you won the first time?
It was insane. There's just so much like camaraderie with football, and like everyone was just so excited to win, and like the excitement that we felt was unmatched. Like it was insane. It was great.
Carly, you remember beating it? I guess it was Irvington was the first game.
Yeah, Irvington.
Were y'all home or away?
I was away.
We were away.
Bus ride home, huh?
Oh, amazing!
So hype.
the music, even Coach Brew was dancing. Shout out to Coach Brew, best dance moves there are.
Is it true too? To some degree, would it be fair for me to say, honestly, did not know 100% what to expect when you played the first game? Like
oh, definitely.
Yeah. So then to show up and come away successful had to be like, holy smoke, waking up at 5 a.m. It's been a little bit worth it. It was kind of fun.
Yeah, we walked onto the field like timid. We're like, oh, let's just try and play and do our best. And then we came off like, yeah, we're winners. Yes. We weren't expecting it to happen, but we wanted it more than them, so we won.
Leah, Carly, with the muscles there. That's puts us. Yeah, man. I don't know how you handle all these personalities in this huddle.
Yeah,
I don't know either.
There's a lot.
Last thing for you girls before I bring on Coach Weiss. Again, I'm Darren Cooper. You're watching Varsity Aces Live, which is like, have y'all geez, is there hybrid school? Is anybody talking about you at school? Like, do people know? Oh my God, our flag football team's 3-0. Leah, you first.
I've definitely been stopped in the hallway by some teachers and they've congratulated me. And I try to like get as many people involved and like voice that like girls are playing, like come to the game, show up. We did have a little bit of a fan section last game, and I hope to see a lot of people there on Sunday.
That's fantastic. When is the next game, Carly?
Is this Sunday. We're playing East Orange, and I hope a lot of Indian Hills, not even just Indian Hills, but just town people come. I want to see a big fan section. I think
it's at the Baggio. It's at the Hank. Then y'all are playing at home.
Yep.
Yeah, at 1:00.
All right, Sunday 1:00 against East Orange. There you have it. Quarterback Leah Turner of the undefeated Indian Hills Braves flag football team, and star and outspoken and muscle-bound wide receiver Carly Spinella. Girls, it was great talking to you. Let's bring on
Thank you.
Coach Meghan Weiss. Let's bring on Coach Meghan Weiss a little bit and ask her, Meghan, I want to know from you, how did you become tasked? How did you get this job?
Well, first off, I just want to say thank you so much for having us on. I mean, these girls, they make me smile every single day. Like, just being off camera, like before entering the show, I mean, I just couldn't stop smiling, and just seeing their enthusiasm. Like, that's why I think not just myself, but other people coach, just girls like that. Well, Mr. Brada, he called me in his office and he's like, listen, we're going to start a girls flag football team. He's like, do you know anything about flag football? And I was like, yeah, I know some things. Like, I, wasn't expecting it to be as intense, I guess. But like getting into the game and seeing everything, what it's like, I was like, wow, I give football coaches so much credit. The constant, all right, what's the next play? Or like, what are we going to do when it's third down? Like, do we got to go for it? And then, do we punt on fourth, even if we're like 3 yards away? So It's just so much thinking and evaluating. And fortunately, I have the best assistant coaches, Coach Pacino and Coach Arambrew. They're so amazing on the sideline. They're so motivating too. Like, we just think positively all the time. Like, there's nothing negative to say about the girls. We're always looking for improvement and what we can do in our next practice and in the next game. So, I mean.
All right. So, Meghan, how much football did you know? How much football did you know?
I actually knew quite a bit. I know my routes. I know my route tree. It was just more of putting everything together. I didn't realize how much time it took. I was sitting with Coach Brew, and by the time I knew, I'm like, oh my God, we've just been talking 2 hours of football and coming up with different plays. And, the girls, they study these plays so hard. If we come up with a new play Friday at practice, we run it at practice, they're studying on their Saturday night the plays in preparation for Sunday's game. So
Sure.
I give them so much credit because, we're always brainstorming. We're always talking like, if we want this person run a wheel route and, we want Carly to get the ball. All right, maybe we want Leah to run this play. There's just so much thought process. So it's exciting. It's new. It's exciting. It gets me going.
How'd you find a quarterback? How did Leah separate herself and be the quarterback? What was the task like? Because to me, you definitely have athletes, and girls can run and they can catch, but not every single girl maybe can chuck the football down the field 20, 25, 30 yards. So what was that like? How'd you find your quarterback, essentially?
Well, actually, you know what? We saw the girls warming up, and it was actually hard to pick a quarterback based on ability, because all these girls were so athletic and they could throw. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is going to be like a competition. Like, this is tougher than I thought. Like, it's not tough to, be like, all right, like throw a ball, like going over the basics. Like, these girls knew what they were doing. And so we had 4 quarterbacks. They're warming up. They're going through the drills. And then finally we said, Leah looks confident. We tell her the play. She's running it. She's nice and loud. She doesn't hesitate. She just goes with it. And if she sees that, okay, if plan A doesn't work, I'm going to go with plan B. And that's to run the ball.
How many girls on the team, Coach?
There are 21, 22 girls, and they're all amazing. I mean, I so fortunate to be able to coach these group of girls. A majority of them are seniors, and they put in so much time and commitment. And just seeing them smile coming to a 5:45 a.m. practice.
Okay, I
know some of them are a little crabby about it. They don't hide their feelings. But listen, once they get out there and they start moving, they just get into it and they're in the zone.
I was about to go there about the 5:45 a.m. How long do you practice for an hour? We practice till 7?
We practice till 7. School starts at 7:30. So they have a half hour to get ready.
Yeah.
And yeah, they're in the classroom and, we're back full time. We're not hybrid anymore. So the girls, they know to come packed, ready to change, and then they go right off to class.
I'm Darren Cooper. You're watching Varsity Aces live here on NorthJersey.com. In a few minutes, we're going to premiere our North Jersey Legends episode on Pat Sullivan. But right now, we're talking the hottest, latest, greatest sport to hit North Jersey, girls flag football, and Indian Hills coach Meghan Weiss, the undefeated Meghan Weiss at 3-0. But boy, Indian Hills, man, I'll have to ask the girls this question when we bring them. There's another team that's kind of like close to Indian Hills. They wear green. They have a team. Well, is that game coming up soon, Meghan?
That game is coming up, Darren, but we always take one practice and one game at a time. So Sunday we have East Orange.
Yeah, I love coaches never look ahead, but reporters get to look ahead all the time. But we'll just say the Ramapo game will be fun because the girls will all know each other for sure.
Of course, it's always fun that I know it's a rivalry, but I try not to think of it like that. I try to think of it as these girls are friends. They know each other outside of, school, and they hang out with one another. And I think they'll enjoy playing against each other. And it will not just be, yes, of course it will be competitive, but it's going to be fun for them. And that's the most important thing I want them to take away from this, because this is the most exciting thing that I think has happened this year. For Indian Hills High School, just the excitement all around talk about flag football gets these girls in the community so hyped, and I don't want them to forget about that.
Now, Meghan, you were being modest, but you were an athlete yourself back in the day.
Yeah, I was. So I'm a little competitive too.
What did you play, Meghan? Tell our audience what your background is.
Yeah, so I went to Northern Highlands and I played field hockey there. I was athlete of the week. I believe I scored like 9. Don't want to toot my own horn, but I think I scored 9 goals and I had 9 assists in 3 games. And I ended up wanting to continue playing, and I played at Montclair State University. So my competitiveness is still with me.
How did you get into coaching?
Oh, so with teaching, I've always wanted to be a coach. I love the kids. I love being able to coach them up in different activities and sports and telling them how much they can improve on, not just personality as a person, but as like an athlete. And I think that's the most exciting role as a coach. So I coached in a lot of districts and a lot of places as soon as I was done with teaching college at Montclair State. Right. I was a JV coach at Union High School. I was a track coach at Oak Knoll. And then I actually was the freshman soccer coach at Indian Hills my first year. So I've known Carly since she was a freshman, and just seeing her grow, and like just seeing Leah out there playing her senior year, and seeing all the girls just, growing, not just as a person again, but as an athlete, and just seeing their personalities come out is just great.
Meghan, what do you think of the girls who are running track or, doing another sport right now? That is a big push.
Yeah, so that's why we did 5:45 practices, because I wanted it to be, a flexible schedule. I was like, ooh, it's either we do like 8 o'clock at night, because lacrosse practices, in the evening, so we have to practice after them, or we go in the mornings. And talking to my coaches, I was like, we got to practice in the morning. we'll get the girls there at 5:45. They'll warm up. We'll have a straight good hour of practice, and then they're off to class. I mean, and I know a lot of the girls, we've got softball, we have lacrosse, we have track, and yeah, a majority of them all play something after school, and I give them so much credit because I know it's not easy for them mentally and physically, especially after.
They have to be tired.
Oh my gosh. They have to be exhausted, and I give them so much credit. Even I'm like mentally exhausted. I'm like, oh my gosh. I'm like, we gotta like talk through some stuff. We gotta talk some football and everything. And but I can just imagine how physically exhausted they are after practice. But I mean, they're doing a great job. I give them so much credit.
Oh, wait a minute. So you're telling me you were an athlete of the week, huh?
Yeah.
What if we could pull up the sketch? Oh, there she is. There she is, man. On demand. Producer Mike Pedagano with the AOW. Congratulations on being an athlete of the week.
Thank you.
Dating back to 1954, which and we are so honored to be able to keep it together. So, Mike, let's bring Carly and Leah back on here for a minute and wrap this up before we debut our Pat Sullivan video. And girls, essentially the last question is, you know, how excited? I mean, you really. All right, I'll ask the tough. You want to beat Ramapo, right? Come on, the Ramapo's the game, isn't it?
Yes, I want to beat Ramapo.
Yeah. We're hungry for him. We're hungry for him.
Don't look ahead. Don't look. Megan's right there. I think I want to ask both Carly and Leah, like, what you think you've gotten out of this experience. Leah, I'll start with you.
Friendship. Sports brings so many like girls together, and like on this team, there's not really it wasn't like my friend group that like did this, and so now I'm just closer with girls that like I didn't really talk to in the beginning of the year, and like just the way sports brings people together, it's just great, and it's definitely like friendships that will last.
Carly, what have you gotten out of this?
I was also going to say friendships, so thank you for taking that, Leah.
Stole your thunder.
But what I get out of this, I feel I just get a better athlete. Like, not everyone needs to be an athlete to play football. There's some people that don't play sports who just play here. Like, you don't need to be good or great or anything just to play here. It's a great sport where you can just try out, and go for it.
So, Carly, you're going to be quarterback next year?
Nah, I like catching balls and going for the touchdown.
Oh boy, Keyshawn Johnson, prima donna over here. Megan, these girls have been. They must be a hoot to coach, Megan. They seem a lot of fun. They are really into it.
Oh my gosh, the coaches and we all look at each other just like smiling all the time because I wish they were like mic'd up at practice because the things they say, oh my gosh, it's hysterical. They crack me up. Oh my gosh. And
I have a connection to NFL film. We could do this. Let's make
that would be awesome. I mean, my girls are awesome. So yeah, I should probably do it with Indian Hills for sure. But I mean, yeah, they're incredibly amazing. I mean, there's nothing more I can say about them. They're just all around great people, and they come in with such a great attitude, ready to play. And, I think that, again, that's what makes coaching like so much better and easier is when your girls or whoever it may be come to play with a great attitude. All
right. So the next game is Sunday, 1:00 at the Hank, Indian Hills against East Orange. I think the playoffs are June 10th. I think the semifinals and the final are June 10th is the last I heard.
June 3rd are playoffs, and then semifinals and finals are June 10th.
All right. Okay. Girls, it was a thrill having the three of y'all on. Y'all were fantastic. I really enjoyed the flag football game I saw. And they're right. Y'all should go see it. If you like it's like a little bit of football, a little bit of lacrosse. There's a little bit of ice hockey because there's a little bit of movement, and there's great athleticism. So, girls, I commend you all. Thank you so much for being a part of Varsity Aces Live tonight.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you.
All right. And as promised, the long-awaited Season 1, Episode 5 of our North Jersey Legends series, a series we're so proud to bring you here on NorthJersey.com. Tonight, we are featuring perhaps the greatest small school basketball player in Bergen County history, the one and only Pat Sullivan, North Jersey legend. Roll the film, Mike. Pagoda and Pat Sullivan showed that being from a small town didn't mean you couldn't achieve big dreams. The 6'7" Sullivan was the perfect player for Bucks coach Jay Mahoney, playing with a fierce style and helping Pagoda become a state power. Sullivan led Bergen County in scoring as a sophomore and junior. His senior year, Pagoda became the first Group 1 basketball team to win the Bergen Jamboree title when it beat Bergen Catholic 56-46. The Bucks went on to win the Group 1 title over Haddonfield, and Sullivan capped his high school career with 2,546 points.
One of my most memorable moments in memory of Pat Sullivan in the Bergen County Jamboree, it was the county semifinals, and at those years it was played in Hackensack High School, and 3,000 people trying to get in and another 1,000 outside, and we're playing Ramapo, and they're very good. And we are playing great. And we're up 26 late in the third quarter, and we get in huge foul trouble. And to Ramapo's credit, they cut it to 1, I believe. And I believe it was like 10 seconds ago, and we're calling it a timeout. And I'm like, all right, we're going to go what we call spread, and we're going to make them foul us. We go out, we go spread. Pat winds up with the ball, goes right to the basket, gets fouled, makes both foul shots, and we win. And I think that's Pat in a nutshell. He just seized the moment, picked up his teammates, and we went on to the county finals.
Sullivan went from one legendary coach to another, joining up with Dean Smith at North Carolina.
Coach Smith has done so much to teach me about discipline and work ethic and dedication and teamwork, and those are the things that I'm going to carry on for the rest of my life, because not only do you use that in basketball, you're going to use that in whatever job or whatever field you pursue, and those are the things that I'll never forget, and those are the things that I'll be able to speak about.
He was part of the Tar Heels' 1993 national championship team and is a footnote in one of college basketball's most famous moments. He's the player who took the free throw before Michigan's Chris Webber's infamous timeout. Sullivan is one of the few college players to play in 3 Final Fours in his career. After college, Sullivan became an assistant coach in the NBA for multiple teams, including the Pistons, who won the NBA title in 2004, the Nets, Wizards, and Knicks. Sullivan's role in basketball history is anything but small. He's a North Jersey legend. There you have it, the world premiere of North Jersey Season 1, Episode 5 of our North Jersey Legend series, the one and only Pat Sullivan. I hope a bunch of people are watching that in Pagoda tonight. Before I sign off, I want to wish a big happy birthday to my big sister, who I know is tuned in down in New Orleans. Please don't get flooded down in Louisiana again. That's really sad. But from all of us here at North Jersey.com, I really want to thank Meghan Weiss, Carly Spinella, and Leah Turner, our guests from Indian Hills. And we hope you get to watch the rest of the North Jersey Legends videos. This is just episode 5 of our first season. They're truly masterpieces. We're really proud of the work that we have done. So, signing off here from Varsity Aces Live, my name is Darren Cooper. Remember, let the coaches coach, the players play, and the officials officiate. Let the Varsity Aces tell you what you need to know. Goodbye, everybody.